All right, here you go. She's all the way from the LBC, players. Welcome up, Karen Cuccinello.
Not used to holding something up to my mouth while I perform. I have done that, but that was a whole different performance. And those tapes were really never supposed to be released in the U.S. Anyway, yeah, this pole reminds me of my stripper days in Kansas City. That's where I'm from. My stage name was KC Masterpiece. You know, like the barbecue sauce? But I really did grow up in the meth capital of the world. You know, I lived in a really bad neighborhood. My lunch was stolen like twice a week from the bus stop. And not by the other kids, but by two guys in a 67 Chevelle. Sometimes the cops would come by and tear apart my bologna sandwich and stomp on my juice box. Later I found out I was running drugs for my mother. Yeah. To this day I won't accept a package from my family. No Christmas or birthday. I'm like, no, Mom, I'm not your little drug runner anymore. But gained a little weight in the past couple months, so I've come to the conclusion that I'm one of those yo-yo dieters. I'll be like in a restaurant and I'm like, yo, can I get the nacho platter? Yo, I'm gonna want some sour cream with that. And yo, can we get a couple of pies to go? Yeah, but I try to exercise, I walk a lot. Walk down to my local coffee shop most days, but the barista there, she's got it in for me, I think. Is lately she's been flipping me off in my latte art. I'm like, where's my leaf? And she just looks at me. I think it's because, you know, the tip jar, I don't always leave $1 in the tip jar because whenever I do, no one seems to notice. So it's like, did you really leave a tip if no one sees? I don't think so. But along with my morning coffee, I like to check in with Facebook and have over 200 friends. And 3 of them I've actually met in person. If anyone wants to be friends, let me know after the show. But you know what really sucks is when you check in with Facebook and you're like, I have one less friend, and you're like, someone deleted me. You don't even know who, and you're like, what the fuck? Sorry, guys. And it's like, I think Facebook should have a policy where you have to go through a mediation process. You can't just delete your friends. What's that all about? What are we turning into? But, you know, Facebook and texting are changing the way we interact with each other. Like, you can say just about anything to someone as long as you leave it, put a smiley face at the end of your sentence. Be like, hey Joan, you gained a lot of weight, smiley face. That's okay, she put a smiley face. So I think we are turning into a bunch of, passive aggressive stalkers. My least favorite saying is no worries. Because I know when someone says no worries, they're like really pissed off at me. But, let me get a drink. Oh, I didn't drink my drink. Okay. Let's see, I'm from the Midwest, and I have trouble telling who the homeless are here in Kansas City. In California. Thank you. But I'll take any laugh I can get. Didn't count on that one. But I moved here a couple of years ago, and I'd be walking, down the beach, and I can't tell if someone's homeless or like a surfer. Wow, he's really cute, and these homeless people now, they just don't look homeless. Like back in Kansas City, you could tell who homeless people were. You could tell a mile away, that guy is homeless. I try to make fun of homeless people, but you could tell. These homeless today have like smartphones, and the only way I can really tell if someone's homeless is if they have the cardboard sign. I'm like, oh yeah, he's homeless. It's okay to assume he's homeless. And I was actually sitting by one the other day, and he was actually online on his phone, and he was bidding on a Ralph's shopping cart that his friend had for sale. he was trying to figure out if he really wanted it because it had a wobbly wheel, and he was like, I'm not sure if I wanted it. And then he was showing me these apps he had on his phone that these were real apps like Bridge Scout, and Vacant Building Finder, and then there was Donate Plasma Locator. And he actually had like virtual Zippo lighter. I'm not sure how he used that, but and then this is embarrassing, but a couple of years ago when I first came here, I actually went on a couple of dates with a homeless guy because I just, they just say, let's meet for dinner, and like he looked clean, he was showering at 24-hour fitness, so you can't tell they're not dirty. So that's the new homeless hangout for showers and stuff. So we go out, and after dinner, we're like sitting on a bench, kind of making out a little bit, and he's like, I'd like to do you in the back alley. And he meant the back alley. And I was like, he's homeless. Dating is really crazy. Last year, I dated a much older man, and he was really cool because he could get me into lots of exclusive clubs, like AARP. That's good. And 10% off Roths every Tuesday. I could also get my coffee at McDonald's for 53 cents. Something like that. And he had connections, and he actually helped to start launch my comedy career by getting me some paying gigs in some nursing homes. But the bad thing about nursing home gigs is, by the time you start to develop a fan base, they die. But that was going really good, but he broke it off with me when his old girlfriend came out of her coma. So that wasn't too good. Then I also, when I was out here, I've been here about 3 years, I dated a kind of one of those closet nudist people that they're always walking around in front of the windows naked, and you're like, are you some kind of closet nudist? It's like, go to the nudist camp. But I had a parrot at the time, and he always had a warm perch, so that was kind of good for him. So I stayed with him for that reason. But times are kind of tough. My health care plan is really bad. It doesn't cover anything. There's always all of these restrictions, so I went ahead and I applied for some additional coverage, and I was approved for my medical marijuana card. So I got it for my sensitivity to gluten. Yeah, so that helps out a lot. It covers a lot of different illnesses too. So that's really helpful. But I'm trying to cut back like everyone, trying to save money. I don't go to the spa anymore. I'm not doing the facials or the massages. No more Brazilian wax, which that was my favorite. So the slip and slide is closed. But the petting zoo is now open. Thank you very much.
Fuck yeah, it's getting dirty, right? It's almost time for an abortion joke.